Now, what in the carnival is going on here? Now, full transparency, believe it or not, I had full intention of making a non-carnival related video for today. However, I gotta admit that the carnies, the very important fun people, the carnival loyalists, you kind of forced my hand here because of yesterday's video and the past couple videos I put out. Of course, we have the 24 to 48 hour rage with the carnies. They hate me this week because I made a couple videos that I thought were pretty legitimate and had a lot of insight. There were some situations that took place on the Carnival Luminosa, which I just disembarked over in Seattle yesterday, flew back home, and well, again, I've been getting emails and comments and all types of hate mail from a lot of the Carnival people saying, of course, guess what? I'm being negative about Carnival. Now, the main point of this topic is going to be more so about Christine Duffy, the president of Carnival. She released a video talking about the protocols and, of course, the changes that they're going to be making towards Carnival's overall operations. I have a video clip I want to show you. If you want to get straight over to that, you can go ahead and find this little tick mark over here I put over there for you, because I do have, unfortunately, somewhat of a rant I got to get out of the way. So, guys, as most of you know, yesterday I made a video talking about a lot of things, a very troubling and disturbing situation involving things like domestic violence, indecent exposure. Lo and behold, some people are angry saying I need to only be positive about Carnival, or that if I don't like Carnival, I shouldn't just sail with them and all that stuff. Guys, understand this, and I mean this in the most humble way. I can sail whatever cruise line whenever I want. And I'm thankful to have that luxury. Most of you know I come from literally nothing, and to be in this position is honestly, it's amazing for me. It's a dream come true. I've cried like a baby on multiple occasions, off camera, of course. But here's the thing. These videos have gotten massive amounts of views, which is an indication to me that you guys want more of the content, or should something similar to this happen, maybe you guys like the life lessons or some type of value or even the entertainment out of it, you want more. So I'm going to keep talking about it. But for the Carnival people out there, I will just say this and make it very simple for you. You do not have to watch these videos. I put Carnival in every title when it comes to a Carnival related topic. Not because I want to make any of you mad or piss you off. It's something called SEO, search engine optimization. No disrespect by this. It's kind of beyond your understanding if you are not a content creator or in the digital realm, as it were. All I'm saying is Carnival themselves, they don't have a problem with me. When I get on their ship, they send me chocolate strawberries and champagne. I'm in contact with their media and marketing team. I'm even going to their pre-party that they invited me for the Carnival Venezia next week, and I'll be on board that ship. And I would argue, since I do pay full price for most of my cruises, especially Carnival, I sail a lot with them every single year, I'm possibly more of a supporter than you will ever be, regardless of your status. I'm trolling here. That's all I gotta say for my little rant. Let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of the video, the little giblets.
As the cruise line that sails more children and families than any other, I want to share with you the steps that we have taken.
In a video message, Carnival's president Christine Duffy says customers can now expect more security officers, a 1 a.m. curfew for guests under 17, and these pups, narcotic sniffing dogs. Carnival is the first cruise line to add them.
There were some issues, and they were quickly taken care of, and as a preventive measure, they're continuing the program, which has been successful. And
Stuart Chiron is known as the cruise guy. He says this comes at a time more people are booking cruises since the pandemic.
You have more first-timers that go on Carnival that are unfamiliar with, let's say, maybe traveling internationally.
Let me remind guests that while marijuana and cannabis products may be legal in some states, we are required to follow federal law.
And federally marijuana, even medical marijuana, remains illegal.
Now, of course, there is nothing really new here as far as rules and protocols that we haven't already talked about. I mentioned on multiple occasions that this somewhat started, I want to say anywhere between 6 to 9 months ago, possibly around the last quarter of 2022 when they did this kind of crackdown to somewhat change the, I want to say, culture on board Carnival ships that, well, Carnival did, in my opinion, allow to kind of create itself, and now they want to crack down. We're talking about, of course, the drugs and all of the fights and brawls that take place on board, especially last year. Remember, we had that 60-man brawl all over a threesome. True story, Carnival Magic. It was a magical situation there. Not really. But the thing that's happening now is we are in the middle of summer. We're right into it. And of course, there are bookings going through the roof. Most cruise ships out there, if you look online, they are pretty much sold out, or they're going to be sailing at least near full capacity. And one thing that gentleman brought up, I'm sorry I forgot his name, but he was stating that there are a lot of new cruisers. As many of you know, I bring this up literally all the time. Whenever it comes to Carnival, and I meet a lot of people, I would argue I meet more people than most on cruise ships. If anybody's ever met me on a ship, which I'm sure some of you have, you know I will talk your head off. I am a social butterfly, if it were. Well, I don't like the term butterfly. Let's say like a social eagle, right? I am a very talkative person, and I love hearing other people's stories and experiences and even opinions of the ship, because I then use that in my reviews whenever the cruise has concluded. And well, I hear a lot, and I would argue that most of the cruisers, a lot of the time, on, let's say, especially an older Carnival ship and on a newer Carnival ship, you'll see a lot of people that have never ever cruised before in their life, and Carnival does appear to be the go-to a lot of the time. Maybe it's because Carnival is so popular; they are literally all over the place. And aside from maybe like an MSC, their deals are pretty hard to compete with. So naturally, you see a lot of new people. And when you get new people that are on cruise ships, they may or may not have proper cruise and travel etiquette. Back when I used to work for the Harlem Globetrotters, me and the group used to call that bad brought upsies. You got people that don't even know how to say good morning to one another in the morning. How disrespectful is that? And then they get on these ships and they treat the crew like crap. And well, on top of other things, we have the situation where when it comes to the drugs, like it has been mentioned many times, you got this situation where you might have, let's say Fred, he goes back and tells Billy Bob that, hey, this is the cruise line that allows you to bring your drugs on board, thus creating the culture of drugs being all over the place and rampant on some Carnival ships, not all, just so we're clear. I've seen such events. I've mentioned before, I've seen people that are offering to sell drugs on board cruise ships. And then when it comes to the fights, you got people that have no at-home training. Like I said, bad brought up season, they start acting some kind of way. I've seen all kinds of fights. I was on the Carnival Conquest last year, and there were 5 fights. I saw 2 of them. One of them was because a lady was wearing a pretty nice dress with her man, and he saw a dude kind of like, well, take a gander or so at his girlfriend, and they started fighting because of that. Another fight because, well, somebody was saving a chair, and then they got up, and then somebody else took the chair, and that turned into a scuffle as well. So you get my point here. I understand why Carnival is cracking down. I do believe it's necessary considering all of the competition that is now coming in. Royal Caribbean is immaculate with their PR and their marketing and their social media, and you don't typically see stuff like this. It does happen on their ships. Let's be clear. MSC is coming into the fold. They have the money. They also have the prices that, like I said, are hard to compete with, only matching Carnival when it comes to, let's say, an affordable cruise for an affordable price. Affordable. I said affordable. The main problems here, in my opinion, are the fighting, the drinking, the drugs, and of course, the children. What about the children? As of right now, when it comes to the kids, Carnival has implemented a 1 a.m. curfew unless they are in any of, like, let's say, the teen nightclubs or accompanied by an adult. Personally, for me, I don't know, maybe I'm just getting old now. I would think like maybe midnight would be a good time for that, for them to not be able to have to run, allowed to run around all willy-nilly, pressing elevator buttons, playing ding-dong ditch, knocking on all the doors, and, well, just doing stupid and crazy things. When it comes to the fights, if you fight on board a Carnival ship, of course, pending an investigation, you will potentially be banned from Carnival, may see some jail time, and you also receive a $500 fine. It's so crazy for me to think about. I still think it should be more. Maybe in the range of $5,000 to $10,000. I will not stop advocating for that. When it comes to the drinks, there hasn't really been much change. We do know there is a cheers package, a drink package, in which you can drink up to 15 drinks per day. People have found plenty of ways to get past all of that. And I've mentioned, like on my last cruise, there are a lot of people that unfortunately see that as a challenge, and they don't exactly have the perfect alcohol tolerance. They don't know their limit. And just like that, we have another situation where people are falling over, they're vomiting, urinating on themselves, and fighting, and it's not good. What is somewhat new, and we have been seeing here and there throughout the year of 2023, is Carnival's implementation of drug sniffing dogs. Now, there are people that have seen it. I saw it when I went on board the Carnival Freedom earlier this year for a Super Bowl cruise, and there are many people that have plenty of pictures and videos and accounts of this actually happening. But Christine Duffy and Carnival, they have announced that they are going to be implementing more drug sniffing dogs, probably at every port. I would argue at some point that may be their intention until all of this either calms down, or it may be a permanent fix to a possible solution. Many people have combated against this, saying that, well, now they feel like they're in jail, or there are others that are saying they're just flat out aren't going to cruise Carnival, because if it takes people to get to that extent for them to implement dogs, and there's possibly something wrong. I understand personally, but we'll have to see how all this plays out. But there will be more drug sniffing dogs, so for all of you out there, whatever techniques and tools you're going to be using to get that stuff on board, just be careful about it, because, well, free to do whatever you want, but you're not free from consequences. Just keep that in mind. Aside from what some of you out there may believe, Carnival is without a doubt one of my favorite lines. I put them in a close second with Virgin Voyages. Royal Caribbean is number one for the sole reason of the fact that I do believe they have an almost perfect operating system. They know exactly what they want. I'm not a big fan of the suburban mall vibe. However, they have a pretty good formula, and there is literal proof of that. There's also proof of me enjoying myself on Carnival ships, which, by the way, for those of you that don't know, I do have a whole nother channel where I'm not critiquing, I'm not reviewing, I'm just having a good time. It's called Jay the Nomad. If this channel here is a little too much for you, by all means, go to there. It's a little bit more PG and kid-like and Disney-like for all of you guys. You can go ahead and check that one out. But my point is, when it comes to this, I'm hard on Carnival a lot of the time when it comes to these situations, because I do believe that Carnival is absolutely amazing. They have the best people. A lot of people dub them Walmart of the seas. As I have said, I do believe that can be correct in the right context. Almost everyone goes to Walmart for something, whether they have money or not. I look at it from that perspective. We're talking about the new Walmart, not back when there was like the Walmart regular and the super center. You get my point here. Carnival does have some adjustments that definitely need to be made, especially considering everything that's happened and new ships coming into the fold and all that jazz. But of course, guys, I'm going to leave it here. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Because again, I am getting tired of doing the Carnival content too, but man, I had to mess with the trolls for a little bit and have a little bit of fun. The haters or the people that are just so obsessed with Carnival that they think Carnival can do no wrong. Just understand, at the end of the day, guys, as much as we love our cruise lines out there, they are still a giant corporation that is only there to do what? Get your money, regardless of the amazing experiences they provide for you. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I have another vlog coming from my time on Luminosa, as well as my review tomorrow. Actually, no, we're going to make it Sunday. Saturday, people are usually pretty busy. Sunday, I will have my review up, and of course, know that I love each and every one of you, and well, I'll see you later. Hit that like button on your way out. Take it easy.